Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk about base building. Some tips I think are important to consider when building or picking a pre-built base online. So these tips will be more general instead of specific tips what you should or should not build. Although I think these tips will be more useful for your farm base or cup base since there are much more aspects to war base building than to normal base building. Although these tips are considered for any town hall level. First off, you have to pick what kind of base you want and what you want to protect in your base. For example, your dark elixir. Are you going to build a farm base or a cup base? And what kind of base would you like to have? Like a ring kind of base or a troll base? It's whatever you want. It's whatever you like. So now that you've chosen what kind of base you want and what you want to protect, there are always a few structures in a base that need special attention. Like your town hall. Since the introduction of Town Hall 11 in the end of 2015, the Town Hall also became a resource building. So they changed the way you get a shield in defense. Before your Town Hall was destroyed, you got a 12-hour shield. Nowadays, you get a 12-hour shield after 30% of destruction. So always try to get your Town Hall inside your base, since gold elixir and dark elixir can be stolen from it. So that's important to take notice of it. Now, let's look at my base, what I've got going on. You can see I got a kind of a hybrid base. It's also a Town Hall 9 base, so I haven't built any of my new Town Hall 10 defenses yet, so that's why I don't have a third Expo or Inferno towers. But besides of that, you can see my Town Hall and my Dark Elixir and my Clan Castle in the middle of the base. The Clan Castle, as you can see, cannot be pulled. Clan Castle troops can be devastating to an attack if they're not properly taken care of. So that's why I've centralized it in my base. Also, you can see the placement of my queen and air defenses. I'm firstly going into my air defenses. You can see they are placed a little bit more inside of the base and also cover most of the base. There's a reason for that. Always, I would say, place a air defense minimum of 4 spaces away from the outside wall. So when you are attacked, for example, by a queen walk, what's seen a lot of in farm raids nowadays, the queen has to break into the base to take out the air defense. Because a queen can reach from the outside wall only 4 tiles into the base. And as we are going to count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and my air defense is on the 5th tile. So that means if a archer queen would walk from like this bottom side to the left, she would need to break into this base with some extra wall breakers to open up to the air defense and take it out. So her healers won't get shot down and the queen walk isn't really quickly over. So that's why I don't really see a lot of queen walks on my base. So yeah, that's something that can be taken care of if you just put your air defense a little bit more inside of your base. It's not really important to include this in your base, but it's useful when included. Now let's look at my archer queen. She's also centralized because of the current level loon meta. She is a very tough defensive threat and she does a lot of damage and she's kind of a walking expo. So I really recommend maxing her out for your town hall level. You can see right now she is on level 35. I'm upping her really much, so she is down for the next 10 weeks until she is level 40. But I have maxed her for Town Hall 9, and right now I'm Town Hall 10, so I'm getting her to max as soon as I can. Now, we're going to look at my storages real quick. You can see here are 2 gold storages. I got one on the other side of the base and one right here. You can see my elixir storages are also really spread out. Here's one, and on the bottom side here. So why have I spread them out so much? The attacker will always miss out on some loot. If the attacker, for example, attacks from this left side, he would only get like 3 elixir storages, and then maybe miss out on 2 or maybe even 3 gold storages and this backside elixir storage. So for example, if you are an attacker and you're looking for a lot of elixir and you find a base where are 4 elixir tanks in one compartment or in one side of the base, you would more likely attack that side of the base instead of a base where the elixir is more spread out and you think you're only going to get like maybe 1 or 2 elixir storages. So that's something to consider when building your base. Now we're going to look at the placement of my giant bombs and my Teslas. I place them where attackers come from most of the time. So the attackers always come from these sides where my expos are to target those things. Sometimes they come from this side to target my dark elixir. And what I've done is place these Teslas and giant bombs in these compartments to surprise my attacker and cripple his attack. And most of the times when giants or hog riders walk through a giant bomb section or get extra Teslas, most of the times a extra heal spell is forced to keep the troops alive. Now let's get to the next traps, which are the spring traps. You can see one is here. It's placed between 2 defensive structures, like here in this side of the base. And giants and also hog riders fair for defenses. So, for example, when hog riders are dropped here at the laboratory and they will target my cannon, the next logical building they will attack is this wizard tower. And what will happen is that the spring trap is placed directly into the pathing of those hog riders, so it will always take out some hog riders. So if you put them on the right spots between defensive structures, they will be more effective. For example, when I put them between, let's say, here on the outside between like these 2 buildings, there will be less likely going to be troops between those 2 than, for example, between 2 defensive structures. You can also see here on this side of the base there is also placed a spring trap between 2 defensive structures. Now we're going to talk about the skeleton traps. I'm sorry. You can see I've placed them at more important structures. Places where I need those troops to be distracted for a little while. Skeletons, just like your heroes, pull troops towards them. So when protecting your expos, like here, or protecting a dark elixir tank, some troops will just retarget on those skeletons and maybe win you some extra time to protect those important structures. You also see, I think I'm going to build on this builder hut right here. I'm going to build my Inferno Towers when I finally get them. And I've already placed a skeleton trap near these important structures, because you can see there's a lot of important things like my king, an expo, air defense, and later on my Inferno Tower. So placing a skeleton trap inside of this compartment is always a smart idea. So you can see traps are a major deal in your base design because they surprise the attacker and can make a difference in defenses. Attacking a dead base where the traps aren't reset is way easier than attacking a base with armed traps. So prioritizing these traps in your base upgrade list is always a smart thing to do. Now next we're going to look at my walls real quick. You can see I've placed my walls in such an order that when you are attacking like from this side and giants are targeting this wall, they are not going to open up all these compartments right here. They are only going to open up this compartment and this compartment. So when you want your troops to get into this compartment, you either need a jump spell or earthquake spells to really open up all of this area. Also, you can see it happening here. I'm placing always a extra wall between them, so when a wall breaker targets this wall, it will open only up this compartment right here with the mortar and cannon. And then after that, the next compartment they will open up is like this compartment with the archer tower, the cannon, and the wizard tower, and so on. So I made sure that I have used my walls the most effective as I could. Also, you can see when an attacker is bringing a spring spell or a earthquake, they can't open up this big compartment because it's just way too big for like example a jump spell. So when an attacker is attacking with giants, they have to open up first this wall, then this wall with or giants or wall breakers if they're lucky, and then they can open up this wall with a spring trap. So that's for an attacker much more difficult and much more chance to fail an attack than to win an attack. So I'm just trying to make it as hard as possible for an attacker to win. Also, you can see I'm going to talk about the trash ring real quick, and then I'm going to take you to another base, which is also really important. So now we're looking at the outside of your base. Try to work your dark elixir drills inside of your base and not on the same side of the base, of course. You see one is here, one is here, and one is upgrading right here. So they're also spread like my storages. If the attacker is keen on your dark elixir, a entry point is more quickly made if it's only on one side on a base. And also try to make the trash ring as if seen here. If the attacker uses, for example, Valkyries, and he is not really funneling his troops right, the Valkyries always have a chance to walk around your base and just take out these structures around your base, and your defensive structures have enough time to shoot them down and make sure that your inside of your base is not as badly harmed as if Valkyries would have done if they would get into the base. Also, try to place these collectors as closely as possible to your walls. As you can see, if I would have put this gold mine a little bit more to this corner, this cannon cannot protect it anymore. So then you could, as attacker, you could put an archer there on the beginning of the raid, and the archer would have shot it down and got all of the loot out of it before the end of the raid. So always try to ensure that your collectors are as closely as possible to walls and always protected by your defensive structures. So now let's go look at another base. This base is another kind of base. Is a farm base designed to protect my dark elixir. Again, you can see the air defenses are placed more inside of the base, and the town hall is a little bit less protected. But you can still see some extra defenses near the town hall. For example, this cannon right here. That's extra, that's not on the other side of the base. And you can see that an extra giant bomb is placed near the town hall, also in the same area. So some attackers always tend to attack from the town hall side, because it's always an extra resource building, which contains dark elixir. So to try to take more dark when they enter from the town hall side. But on this base, you can see the clan castle is placed on the other side of the town hall. Because when someone is keen on getting your dark elixir and they destroy your town hall and coming in from that side, you can see the town hall clan castle troops are triggered when they get more near to your dark elixir tank. So you get some extra defense when they are getting close and trying to get your dark elixir. So it's a smart base design. You can also see the Teslas are placed near important structures like the X-bows and the air defenses. Let's see. And also the storages are well spread out through this base. Gold, elixir, you can see they are like placed in these 4 corners. So when you attack from this side of the base and you only get this far and maybe get like these 2, you can these other 2 are placed on the other side of the base. So if you are a Town Hall 10 or a Town Hall 9.5 and still looking for a good dark elixir farm base, this is a pretty good base to take. So maybe screenshot the base. I don't really care. Also, you can see there's a trash ring throughout around the base. So just as I've explained in the previous base, it's for filling purposes, and you can also see the collectors are pushed to the outside walls. One key difference between the previous base and this base is the placement of the smaller bombs, as you can see right here. Why are they placed on the outside of the walls this time? They are there to protect the base against wall breakers. On places where attackers most likely would drop their wall breakers. And what will happen is the attacker will drop his wall breakers after they put down their golems or their giants. And then they will put down their wall breakers to get inside of the base. But what will happen is when the wall breakers reach the wall, the bomb would have gone off and would have killed all of his wall breakers. And if the attacker doesn't have a good alternative to break into the wall, it can already cause a lot of trouble at the beginning of the raid. Or he just gets a little bit more time, for example, when giants are trying to break through the wall. It would just take a little bit longer, and that's always good for your defense, so your defensive structures can shoot at the giants longer before they get into the base and take your defensive structures out. So now I just want to look at one last thing before I end this video. So guys, I'm back. As you can see, I've built a little part of a possible base. What you can see here is a kind of a entrance into the base to trick golems and giants because they target defensive structures. Sometimes you see in bases, especially war bases, to attract the golems or maybe even giants to these structures, to like this mortar, and get some funneling issues maybe for the attacker. What you can see right here is the like, for example, if a attacker drops some giants right here at the elixir collector, and they get attracted to this mortar, the next thing that pops up is this Tesla in this entrance right here. And right then, like, these other structures already start to shoot at it. They've already started shooting at them. And what's going to happen is the giants, this other in backside Tesla will also pop up, and the giants or golem will walk towards this last Tesla, and these 2 giants bombs will go off. Also, this wizard tower starts shooting at it, and this Expo starts shooting at it, and probably this cannon here in the backside too. And there are 2 things that happen in this kind of setup. One, the giants or golem will be heavily targeted and destroyed by these giant bombs. So that's really annoying when you're attacking, and it can take down an attack really rather quickly. And what will also happen if this attacker was dropping some wizards or archers behind, the golems or giants are no longer tanking for the wizards or the archers that are standing behind. So this archer tower that's behind will start targeting those wizards and those archers. So if you think of those little things inside of your base, maybe pulling giants, putting those Teslas or giant bombs at the right positions, you can really make a difference in those defenses and attacks in your base. So yeah guys, thanks for watching to this video. It was a little bit longer than expected, but if you enjoyed the content or found it useful, leave a like. Also comment down below maybe what you want to see next time in one of my videos. And yeah, I will see you guys next time.